What is going on, everybody? It is the HHN Dawg here, the leader of the pack, and welcome to the very first episode of HHN Dawg's horror movie reviews. In this brand new series, I will be reviewing all the horror movies you know and love, and today I am starting with Killer Klowns from Outer Space, released in 1988. Now, excuse me, before I start, if you have not seen this movie, I recommend you stop watching this video now because this movie review will contain spoilers. And if you have seen this movie and are a fan of the movie like I am, you know what goes down in this movie. So, I'm going to review the movie and then give my rating and then go from there. So, basically, what Killer Klowns from Outer Space is all about is that these two kids, Mike and Deb, are in this place called On Top of the World, where high school kids like to go hang out and party. Well, as Mike and Deb are in the back of Mike's vehicle, they see a shooting star and they decide to go follow it. And when they find where the shooting star has landed, it is actually a circus tent, and as teenagers, they're interested. They go inside and explore, and inside the circus tent, they discover something gruesome, and that is cotton candy cocoons holding dead bodies. So then Mike and Deb, they run into town, and they go into the police station, and it's basically like they're crying like the boy that cried wolf. They're basically crying wolf when Dave, the ex-boyfriend of Deb, goes into the woods with Mike, and the circus tent disappears. Well, then when the Killer Klowns discover Crescent Cove, they decide to raise hell in the small town. And then that's when everyone gets attacked by the clowns. And may I add that this movie has some pretty awesome kills. Some of my favorite kills in this movie are, for example, in the biker alley scene where the big biker destroys the baby clown's bike, and the biker says, "Hey man, what are you gonna do? Knock my block off?" And the baby clown comes back with boxing gloves, and he does just that and knocks the biker's head right off. That's one of my favorite kills. Another kill is when in the little later on in the movie back at the Crescent Cove police station, where Dave goes back and he's looking for Sergeant Mooney, and the clown turns around in the chair and he hoists up Mooney as a ventriloquist dummy, and that's one of my favorite kills because, and that's a funny thing too, is that earlier in the movie, if you watch it, Mooney, as Deb, Mike, and Dave are all leaving the police station, Mooney walks after them and says, "You're not going to make a dummy out of me." So that was a little foreshadowing that later in the movie the clown made Mooney into a actual dummy. So that's one of my favorite kills in the movie. But my favorite kill in the movie, my favorite kill in the whole movie, is when the clowns end up at the theme park towards the end of the movie, and the security guard looks at them, and when the clowns hold up these pies, the poor security guard says, "What are you going to do with those pies, boys?" And the clowns throw these pies on the poor security guard. And after the pies get done killing the poor security guard, the poor security guard is basically just a pile of bones thanks to these killer pies. That's probably my favorite kill in the whole movie. I always enjoy watching that scene. But, and then when Mike, Deb, and Dave find out a way to kill the clowns, when Dave takes his badge, blows up the Big Daddy Clown's nose with the pointy pin of his badge, the Big Daddy Clown blows up, and the whole circus tent blows up, and that's how the movie ends. So I'm sorry if that's the best way I can put that's the best way I can describe the plot to you if you have not seen this movie, but I do recommend checking this movie out. Overall, great movie. It's one of my favorite 80s horror / comedy movies, if you want to put it that way. It's a good movie to watch around Halloween time, and plus too, if you're a fan of Halloween Horror Nights like I am, and if you've paid attention to the channel, Halloween Horror Nights announced a Killer Klowns from Outer Space scare zone for Halloween Horror Nights 28 this year at Universal Orlando. After watching the movie and hearing the announcement of that scare zone, I am really, really excited about the scare zone to see how it turns out in person, because it's going to be really awesome to see those clowns in person, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. But overall, on a scale of 1 to 5, I give this movie a solid 4 out of 5. It's really good. I enjoy watching it every year around Halloween time. But yeah, make sure you check out this movie if you have not seen it. If you love clowns, this is your movie. So that's it. So that concludes the first episode of HHN Dawg's Horror Movie Reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned next week because I will be reviewing The Shining, my all-time favorite horror movie, so stay tuned for that next week. So thank you everyone so much for watching, and until next week everybody, I will see you all in the doghouse.